So I rise today. Joe's gone over this, I think, very clearly. I support him in just sticking with the letter of the law. He said China produces 75% of the world's lithium-ion batteries. We only 7%. China controls 80% of facilities that convert critical minerals into usable battery parts. Making things in America, not just about promoting our own manufacturing, which we need to do better generally, it's also about not funding the human rights abuses by the Chinese Communist Party, and to give them even more of a leg up when you see what they've done trying to fit into the world economic chain, where they still steal intellectual property. They do things that take them out of the norm that we're all familiar with. This is just simply to fix something that was recently passed in a reconciliation bill. I didn't vote for the reconciliation package because of disagreements with it in general. I do that on a lot of things, even when I like components of what's in something, if it doesn't have that fiscal responsibility to go along with it. So whether you agree with me or Senator Manchin about trying to do things here in America whenever we can, and not to end up supporting our main geopolitical enemy in the process, I think you got to be careful. Senator Manchin mentioned also, we just recently did it, and it's clear. And the IRS was sleeping at the wheel. This should not have come down to where we're right here, even having to argue about it. It's the letter of the law. I've got, in my own home state, Stellantis, Samsung, making a big investment in Kokomo, Indiana, for this very issue of getting our own foot into this kind of business. What's it going to do? What's the message going to be sending to them? Allison Transmission is conducting R&D efforts on electrifying their own components. I think it sends a bad message if we are, given the letter of the law, going to make exemptions even when it might not be expedient for other concerns. So I think this is a type of investment that we need to make sure stays here. We recently put it in law to do so. It may delay a little bit, not give the speed at which some want to move, but when you look at everything we've talked about, the fact that it gives more to the Chinese economy, when look at what they're doing on the world stage, it's going to send a bad message to people in our own country about making the investments, and clearly in my own state, there's a vested interest. So I'm with Senator Manchin on this. We ought to stick with what we just passed, not let the IRS get by with being delinquent on what they should have done in the first place. And with that, I yield back to the senator from West Virginia.
Mr. President.